Hey everyone, welcome to the Robert Show 12, day 264, and today I'm talking about these two major earthquakes that I was a part of in 2008 and 2010 and why they impacted my living situation. Not really. There's this one back in 2008, and it was the Chino Hills earthquake, and I was somewhat far, not really, and it was, I think, the afternoon. I don't really know. I think it was like 2 or 3, and I was with my grandma, and I was in my office just doing some computer surfing, and then I hear a loud banging noise. And I was downstairs, and I thought it was coming from upstairs, because if you step really hard on the floor upstairs, you can hear it. So I thought my brother was like pounding on the floor. So I was like, oh, it's Nick. I'm just going to tell him to be quiet. But then it kept going. And then I realized that Nick was downstairs and there was no one upstairs. So I was like, what is that noise? And then I started feeling shaking, and I felt a big jolt. And it was shaking really hard. And so I was like, oh, it's an earthquake. So me and my grandma and my brother and me stood under my office doorway. And my mom was at work, so I didn't really know what happened to her. And my dad was at work too. So I called them to make sure they were okay, and yeah, they were okay, because it wasn't that big. I think it was like 5 point something, 5.5, and it was during the summer, I think. Yeah. Now, this next earthquake is kind of unique because, I'll tell you later, but it was the Baja, California earthquake in April 4th, 2010, and it was on Easter Sunday, and my family and I were on vacation in Palm Springs, and we stayed at a hotel, and we went to Barnes & Noble in Palm Desert to look at some books, because that's the only Barnes & Noble in the whole Palm Springs area, I think, or the one closest to us, and it was in Palm Desert. So we went over there, and we were looking in the biography section, and my brother and my dad were in the golf or the sports section, and they were right by the customer service table thing. That's where they were. So we're looking at biographies, and there's an underground parking structure, or not underground, but there's a parking structure. Oh wait, it is underground. Never mind. It's underground. And I just felt shaking. So I thought it was the parking lot, because usually when someone parks or there's cars going down the ramp, it shakes in there. So I was like, okay. But then it shaked too long and kind of hard. So I was like, is this an earthquake? And it was, because it was getting bigger and bigger. So then it was getting so big to where I was sitting under the table that was containing books. So I was screaming, we're all going to die, because I thought the books were going to crush me. And I was a paranoid person at the time. I kind of still am. But I was yelling that I was going to die. And it was crazy. There were books falling, and this is the highlight of the whole ordeal. The customer service sign unhooked from the ceiling and fell and crashed onto the table, and it was hanging. And my brother was almost crushed by that customer services sign, because he was standing right there and he was getting help from the customer service people, but there was no one there, and it fell. And right when the earthquake happened, he ducked or went under a table immediately, which was good, and he missed getting hit by that. But the cool thing was that someone took a picture in that bookstore back when the earthquake happened, and it ended up on CNN, and I just think that's kind of awesome, because I was in that store when it was on CNN. So here's the picture of the customer service sign in Barnes & Noble, and as you can tell, it was kind of scary in there, and I don't want to experience another earthquake, but I think we might, because I hear that California or the United States is due for a big one. So that's just great. Bye, everyone. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to do a Breaking Dawn movie review, because I went to go see it with my mom and my brother, but I was kind of dragged there, so I didn't really want to go see it, but it was okay. So